Yo, what is going on? Hope everybody is doing good. Once again, today we're diving back into kind of the lab, but it is a boomer bust wide receiver battle between Odunze and a MALIK Nabers. Which one is the better prospect? They're both extremely talented on that elite prospect trend. We know where they went in the NFL draft extremely early, and they're both extremely talented. There is no question, but which one's got the slight edge? This is kind of what we're looking for, especially when it comes for fantasy football. What are we looking for out of these wide receivers? One may get an earlier head start than the other, but they're both exceptional talents, and I do love them. But let's talk about tail of the tape. Who's got the better of the two MALIK Nabers or a Odunze? New York Giants and Chicago Bear now from LSU and the Washington Huskies. Both are unbelievable. Like I'm saying, you guys will absolutely be, smiling ear to ear of the highlights these two gentlemen will do in their NFL career. There is no question about that. Talking about the measurables, we know 6'3", 212 for a Odunze, put together specimen. And we see in the comps, coming out of the NFL draft where some like a Daniel Jeremiah were talking that Rome's got, the likes of a Larry Fitzgerald in him, where MALIK Nabers, as some people are, considering him being another Justin Jefferson in the making, another Odell Beckham type of wide receiver. 6 foot, 200 pounds for a MALIK Nabers. I keep stumbling on his name. Nabers. But I'm telling y'all, he is a great talent as well, man. Stat line basically similar overall. 40 games for Rome, 214 in receptions, 32.72 in yards, 15.3 on the average, 24 TDs, where a Nabers got 38 games under his belt, 189 receptions, over 3,000 yards, just barely by 3 yards, 15.9 on the average, and 21 TDs. While Rome was a little bit more consistent throughout his collegiate career, Nabers absolutely uplifted his game this past year to be, talked about more as that stellar elite potential prospect coming into the NFL draft. Both put up great stat lines. Both looked extremely solid, and only 2 more games for Odunze. But again, Michael Penix did uplift it last year for Rome in this offense in Washington. How's it going to look with Rome playing with a Caleb Williams, where you got MALIK Nabers playing with a Daniel Jones? It's going to be very interesting. And I mean, while, Daniel Jones coming off his own ACL injury, Caleb Williams, the rookie, they added more pieces like a Keenan Allen, etc. DJ Moore is still there. How's Rome's role going to be, promotive of high stat lines early on in his career, where MALIK Nabers almost coming to New York to be the savior in this wide receiver room? So you see what I'm talking about. One of them, MALIK Nabers, likely going to have the earlier, quicker start as the rookie, as the guy that's going to, showcase his talents, where they might, let Rome learn the game a little bit from a guy like Keenan Allen, which is somewhat similar skill sets as well. I do like both these players, both these talents, but let's talk about some comparison games on the speed. Speed is definitely going to a MALIK Nabers at this point. He got, 4.35 on his 40 time at the LSU Pro Day, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe he ran at the Combine. I'd have to go back and check. I did miss that one as well. I'm pretty sure he did not. Jaden Daniels didn't perform either at the Combine. But, I mean, for Rome, where he is, 4.45, not slow by any stretch, but definitely the speed does go to the side of a MALIK Nabers. Accelerators as well, I do believe that is on Nabers over a Odunze, where he's not slow, but it is one of these situations where he understands how to gear up and gear down. Odunze over a MALIK Nabers. Accelerators absolutely showcased on the tape when it comes to Nabers. He just flies by guys. Once he hits that second gear, he's in the open field, and he's going to be definitely hard to catch. Burst off the line, burst in general, I'm giving it to a MALIK Nabers as well. Basically, all the speed categories are favoring a MALIK Nabers. He is that talented. He is that good in these categories, and this is why a lot of people want to do it. I mean, that's why you draft a lot of these wide receivers early on, because you cannot teach speed, and MALIK Nabers definitely has the elite capabilities in that respect as well. Where Odunze does have some level of accelerators, it's all leaning towards a MALIK Nabers at this side. Run after the catch, I'm going to give them both a check because they both can do it. And while one is faster, I don't think that should, take away from the fact that Odunze can make plays with the ball in his hand in the open field, and they both do it exceptionally well, just they do it differently. That's why I'm giving both the check marks here. I think that, based on trying to make plays in the open field, they can both do it. That's why they were both top 10 commodities in the NFL draft, and Odunze is no slouch in this department. But for category 1, we got MALIK Nabers winning this one. one quite handsomely because of all the speed categories. He's just a leg up on a Rome Odunze in this sense, 110%. We're talking a little bit of the fundamentals. This is where we kind of see why you picked a Rome Odunze, in the draft where you did. His route tree, absolutely stellar, and you're going to see it. He's going to be a technician. He's going to showcase the fact that he can do this with the fluid running style, the elite body control, technically sound. I mean, when he breaks on his routes, he's doing very well. He's getting the separation, check mark to him as well. Understands how to get open in the open field. Will be a good safety blanket eventually for somebody like a Caleb Williams. While Malik Nabers' route tree is not terrible, you got to lean to a Rome Odunze this way, just like with the speed categories where Rome's not slow. You just got to lean to the side which player is a little bit better in these regards. I do like Malik Nabers' ability to run his routes to gain separation, especially with speed. I think that, Odunze is better in the technical sense when you talk about creating the separation, doing the route tree, where Malik Nabers is not bad in this. He utilizes his speed quite a bit. So if that speed ever drops off, he's going to have to learn how to be a more precise route runner in that sense as well. But they both can separate. They both can run routes. I'm just leaning toward a Rome Odunze in this sense because I think he does it just a little bit better at this point. First step off the line also comes with the burst. So when I gave the burst to a Malik Nabers, I'm going to sit here and tell you that the first step off the line, they both do it extremely well. They both are able to, at least make their defensive back be on skates just a little bit, where I could say that, Nabers does it a little quicker than a Rome. Rome does it in, good, swim moves, push moves. He can do it many ways, but the first step off the line is very good for both these gentlemen. I'm going to give them both check marks. And the release off the line, I'm going to give it to Rome just because he can do it in multiple ways, where the footwork can get him a release and his physicality in some sense can get him a release as well, where a Nabers, I think, is going to be more predicated upon the finesse, the speed, and, trying to make his defensive back, look one way off the line, off the release, and then get free in the open field. Where it comes to a Rome Odunze, the release off the line, I think he could do it in multiple ways, multiple facets. That's why I got him winning this category quite handsomely, where Nabers got the speed, technical sound, ability. I think the edge does flow to a Rome Odunze. Next one we got is hands, and they're both exceptional hand catchers. You don't see a lot of drops out of these guys. They can make a lot of plays. Sticky hands, soft hands, corralling hands wherever you want it, over the shoulder, toe drag swag, corner of the end zone, short over the mid-range, slanting goes. These guys are making catches, and then it's depending on what they're going to do after that. You're going to see it on the field, but their hands, both talented, exceptional talents at the wide receiver spot. That's why we're calling them elite prospects, because not only do they have a lot of technical ability, they got the speed, but the hands work extremely well, and you guys are going to see there's not going to be a lot of drops. I mean, we've already seen in rookie OTAs these guys making some pretty good catches. Malik Nabers over the shoulder, one-handed grab already we saw, so you guys know the hands are sticky like glue, and they will make a lot of plays. In terms of contested catch ability, we got a side to Rome Odunze. Like I said, okay, Daniel Jeremiah is calling him Larry Fitzgerald. I'm saying, Keenan Allen type a little bit more. But the hands are so good in that respect. I think, especially when it comes to contested catch appeal, Rome Odunze has proven he can do the you got mossed appeal. While we have seen Malik Nabers also be very good in contested catch ability, where he's running full bore, going to the side of the end zone, and he's out jumping guys. We've seen this as well. I could have given Malik Nabers a contested catch check here as well. I'm just going to side to Rome because I think that he can do it a little bit more than what Nabers is going to do. I think Nabers is going to have a plan, kind of like how they utilized Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. I think that's kind of going to be his role, where Rome Odunze, he can be over the middle. He can go down the sidelines, can be the red zone touchdown guy as well. That's why I'm going to say contested catch. Lean to a Odunze at this point. Agility-wise, they're both very agile players. Both can make some sharp cuts in the open field. You just got to go with the agility, kind of with the speed factor, the quicker feet. I'm going to lean to a Malik Nabers on this one as well. Both very agile. Both can make a lot of people miss, but you think the twitchy ability a little bit more with a Malik Nabers, going to be able to make people miss in the open field. Check mark to him on that sense. Ball skills are extremely strong for both wide receivers, but I'm going to say, like I said, you got Most appeal. The ability to at least track the ball extremely well, to make the catches, come down with the ball in heavy traffic, double teams. I'm just going to give it a slight slight edge to a Rome Odunze, where Malik Nabers still is going to showcase the fact that he's got ball skills for days, and I could have given him a check mark. I'm just going to lean once again. It's a slight lean. You're talking about splitting hairs here with two of the best, talented wide receivers coming out of this draft class. So this section, we're going to talk about Rome winning this one as well. I mean, 2-1 right now in this category. We're talking playmaking ability double checks for both these guys. They are going to catch passes, they're going to get yards, and they're going to score a lot of touchdowns for these teams, and we know this. Like I said, though, we're going to probably see it early on for Malik Nabers and not so much for Rome Odunze, almost similarly to the point of how Jackson Smith-Njigba was, utilized in Seattle. I think that's kind of what we could see for an Odunze in year one, where there is a lot of mouths to feed, rookie quarterback, where Malik Nabers is likely going to be this a potential savior in New York, hopefully at the wide receiver spot with all the ability that he does have. Both exceptional playmaking talents. I just think we're going to see it earlier for Malik, but they both get the check mark for me. Check mark for statistics. Just a little bit to the side of Rome at this point. Very close. You could splitting hairs once again. I mean, 200 plus yards, 3 more touchdowns, 40 more receptions. Stats go just over to Rome Odunze, even though Malik has had a great collegiate career. Stats just a little bit more consistent for a Rome at this point. Durability, no real concerns. Couple nicks, dents here every couple contests, but they didn't really miss a lot of time, man. 40 games to 38 contests. I mean, both played 3 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at when it comes to Rome played 4 years. So, I mean, there's not a lot when it comes to durability concerns for me. Both have showcased the fact they can avoid the medical room for a majority of it. And they're going to, if we're going to talk about durability, do I want to believe that Rome can handle punishment a little bit more? Potentially. I do believe he can. But Malik Nabers too quick. He's not going to get a lot of guys to hit him. So I think durability is not going to be a concern for either one of them. Malik is over 200 pounds. He's going to be able to take some punishment in the NFL. There is no question. Athletic ability, both have boatloads of it. But again, I'm going to side to Malik Nabers, where it is more finesse, where Rome is speed and finesse, where Rome is a little bit more, mixed bag of he's got some speed, he's got some physicality to him, and he understands how to utilize his body type against defensive backs in college football, and likely will generate that in the NFL as well. So I'm going to give that athletic ability trend to Malik Nabers at this point. So this one is tied. And I mean, it's going to be an interesting finish, and we're talking full score, total score, 11-16 to 10-16 for a Rome Odunze. And it's probably basically just on stats that he wins this whole contest at this point. But again, we're splitting hairs with these two gentlemen. They're both so good, so talented, and we're going to see it showcased on the field in the NFL without question in my mind. They're so good, and it's going to be so fun to watch with the Bears and the Giants. And I'm a big fan, big supporter of both these gentlemen. I do expect a boatload of stats to come their way. But I mean, there you go. There you have it. That is Rome Odunze and Malik Nabers. Tale of the tape, boomer bust. I do believe they're both going to boom because they are that talented. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Who do you like better, Rome Odunze or Malik Nabers? Throw it in the comments and a reason why. Put it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.